Hello, Blue Jays fans, and welcome to episode 278 of the Jays from the Couch radio podcast, brought to you by, of course, jaysfromthecouch.com. We've got a great episode for you this week, and we're so glad you're tuning in, whether it's live, we're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, where you can join the show. And this week might be a great time, if you haven't before, to jump in and throw your comments, and I'll get into that here in a little bit. But of course, if you're not watching live, you can still catch the show on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. Just go back through and you can find it there. And the audio version available anywhere you can find quality podcasts. Just look for Jays from the Couch. Give us a subscribe, a rate and review, and all that fun stuff. And I'm your host, as always, Sean Doyle. Follow me on Twitter at Doyle JFtC. We've got a great episode for you this week. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to throw a game show together here. Karen is going to destroy me, and I can't wait. And of course, we'll bring back our fake news segment. Some interesting fake developments to talk about. So stay tuned for those. But of course, we can't get started until I introduce my colleagues, the panel here at the Jays from the Couch podcast. First of all, host of Sunny Side of the Dome, Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Karen Suter. Good evening, Karen.
Good evening, Sean. Good evening,
welcome.
Steve.
And, of course, host of the On Feck Circle, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, the feckless wonder himself, Steve Feck. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, folks. I can't wait to get started. This will be fun.
Yeah, so we decided this week, you know what, it's our show. We're gonna do whatever we want. We're gonna have some fun with the trivia, Blue Jays trivia. And so if you're watching at home, play along, and you can have your guess. I'll fire it up here on the screen, and who knows, you may even beat me as well. I'm not so good with the memory stuff, so we'll see how this goes. But yeah, so Steve's going to host this game show. Karen's going to wow us all, and I'm also here. And then, of course, we'll go into our fake news. So I think it's time to get started. So I will turn it over to the host of this game show, the feckless wonder, Steve Feck.
Thank you, Sean. And welcome to the inaugural episode of Jays by the Numbers, where we actually test couchers to see how much they've been paying attention in 2021. Rules are very simple, just like a baseball game. 9 innings, 9 questions. Each contestant will get a chance to answer it. It's going to be a generic question, and the contestants will have to nail down the number or get as close to the number as they possibly can. So let's introduce the contestants. Player 1 is the #1 Blue Jays fan from Nova Scotia. He is the founder and senior editor of jaysfromthecouch.com, as well as the host of all 278 episodes of the Jays from the Couch radio podcast. His hope for the 2022 season is that his friend and former colleague Keegan Matheson rescues him, offers him a job covering the Jays for MLB.com, so he doesn't have to deal with Ron McClanahan or myself ever again. Player 2 is from Toronto, Ontario, and is the hostess with the mostest for the Sunny Side of the Dome program on YouTube, Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Her hope for the 2022 season is to have Lourdes Gurriel play all 9 positions in a game and single-handedly beat the Baltimore Orioles. Please welcome Karen Suter.
Hi, Steve.
Okay. You folks understand the rules.
I wasn't aware there were any, so let's get at it.
Okay.
That's just okay.
Now, you guys will alternate being able to pick the answer first. We're going to go with Karen Suter getting the first option. Inning 1. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. had more hits, runs scored, homers, RBIs, walks, and total bases than Marcus Semien, but Semien posted a higher wins against replacement. Vladdy's WAR was 6.8. What was Marcus Semien's? Karen?
See, I thought Vlad was higher. Simeon, if his was higher, it wasn't by much. I'll say 6.9.
Sean.
So when I use wins above replacement, I use the Fangraphs version only. So, and it may be different than your answer. However,
all numbers come from baseballreference.com.
Okay, so then if that's the case, Karen said 6.9. Ah, cheater. That leaves me with
That's why I wanted to do the cue card.
6.9 and a half.
We might have the same answer at times.
Oh man, yeah, I'll go 6.9 and a half. How about that?
Well, Sean, you would be closer. Simeon's WAR, according to baseballreference.com, was 7.2.
Wow, and you can bet that free agents everywhere will now be using Baseball Reference for their wins above replacement contract negotiations.
And it just goes to show you why.
Scott Boras, yes.
Right. Yeah, and it just goes to show you why analytics are so stupid. There shouldn't be multiple wins against replacement. There's only one kind to get wins and one way to get rid of replacements. So therefore, it should be just one number. But of course, we can't have it that way.
No, baseball is too smart for us.
Absolutely. Okay, Sean, so you can build on your 1-0 lead here in inning 2. So much talk and debate surrounded the third base position in 2021. Santiago Espinal logged the most games at the hot corner. How many games did Espinal play at third base for the Blue Jays in 2021?
I'm going to say 83.
And Karen, what is your answer?
Yeah, it's going to be so close to that. I was thinking 80. I know that's not much different than your answer, so I'm going to stick with that.
Good thing you're sticking with that answer. He played 81 games at third base in 2021.
Wow, close. Exactly half the games. Wow.
And you know what? Did an admirable job as well, right? You know,
He was really good.
If he could hit for power.
That's the only knock on him. His average, his on-base percentage, his defense are all good. Like, so what? He doesn't hit for power. The Jays have tons of power hitters.
Exactly. They have 7,000 power hitters. So I agree with you, Karen, but let's see what happens in inning 3. Who can pull ahead? Another position of debate for the Blue Jays was the bullpen. In 52 save opportunities, Jays relievers blew 18 saves, so that was only a 65% conversion rate. 13 different Blue Jays registered a blown save. Tim Meza and Trevor Richards had the most blown saves. How many did each of them have?
Yikes. I'm up. Both of those guys were pretty good. I think Meza had one rough month. I'll say 3 each.
Sean.
Oh, if this were The Price is Right, I would say $1. Oh man, I'm going to say 4.
Karen hit it right on the nose. Each of them had 3 blown saves.
Wow.
Yes, Rafael Delis had 2, and then there was a whole parade of guys that had at least 1 blown save.
It felt like Chadwood had 10, but I guess not.
Blown out.
He didn't come out in save opportunities. That's the difference.
That's what
he basically sucked in innings 3 through 6 or whatever. So he never really got around to getting many save opportunities.
All right.
Okay. Karen up 2-1 going into inning 4. Now, home run king Henry Aaron famously said that the triple was the most exciting play in baseball. 3 Jays players tied for the team lead in 3 baggers. 2, I think you'll know right away, Lourdes Gurriel and Marcus Semien. The third one was Corey Dickerson. How many triples did the trio hit?
In total?
But again, they were tied. So how many did they total? Each player total?
I'm going to say, I don't know. I'm going to say, how about, let's go with 5.
Okay, so each player hit 5.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm way over, but go ahead, Karen.
You know what? Again, the number 3 seems to be working for me. I'm thinking 3.
You are absolutely correct, Karen. That's why I
see?
used the triples one, so it would be 3. I was thinking, Sean, that you would kind of go with triples, trio of players.
And 3 of them I know, and yeah, but I didn't.
Threes are wild.
All right, so my next answer is 3, regardless.
I can only imagine the comments that Ron's going to have after this for you not being able to follow this.
I'm out of touch.
Okay.
What are you going to do?
We're about ready to make this an official game. Inning 5. Robbie Ray was spectacular in 2021. I think we all agree he's probably going to be a Cy Young finalist when they're announced later tonight. Ray posted the most starts for the Blue Jays and also the most quality starts. How many quality starts was Ray credited with in 2021? Karen.
Oh boy. That's a tough one. 16.
16 for Karen. Sean, what is your answer?
9.
Karen is correct again. He had 23 quality starts out of 30. So
wow.
72% of his starts were quality starts.
Wow.
And just as an aside, there's no bonus points here. Jose Barrios had the highest percentage of quality starts. He had 75 of his starts were registered as quality starts.
And that's amazing. That's amazing when you think about it. Wow. What idiot said 9?
Okay, so we're sticking with the 3s, 3 times 3.
That's right.
So Karen is starting to pull away.
Starting.
Hopefully, Sean, you have a better bullpen than the Blue Jays had in 2021, and you can close the gap and try to pull ahead here. Question in inning 6. The Blue Jays called 3 ballparks home in 2021. TD Ballpark in Dunedin, Salem Field in Buffalo, and of course the Rogers Center in Toronto. The Jays won 10 games in Dunedin, 12 games in Buffalo. How many games did they win at home in Toronto?
Oh, it's simple math. And I can't do it because I don't remember what you wait. Okay. How many in Dunedin?
10 in Dunedin.
Yeah.
12 in Buffalo.
Yeah.
They lost 11 times in both of those sites as well. Mm-hmm. But how many wins did they have at the Rogers Center?
Well, that's got to be whatever the difference is. 50.
Oh,
it's not 50.
No. They did win some games on the road too.
Yeah.
Okay. 22.
Karen is correct again.
Yeah.
25 wins at the Rogers Center. The majority of them obviously happening in September, where they had just a ridiculous home stretch in September to try to get and stay close in that race. So
when they came back to Toronto on July 30th, they went 9-2 in that first actual homestand.
Yeah,
so right. That.
And maybe oh, man, Karen, you're beating the guy who thinks they played all their games in Toronto. Like, oh man.
Now, mind you, they only had 80 home games. They didn't have 81. So you could use that as an excuse as being part of a trick question, but you were so off, it's not even.
Yeah, no, not even close.
Oh, yeah, that game in Anaheim, okay. So really they had home games home games in 4 stadiums in 1 year.
Right. So the score is 5-1, correct?
Oh, it's out of hand.
Okay, but there is no mercy rule in
That's
Blue Jays
okay.
by the numbers. So you just got to kind of hang in there.
Oh yeah,
Try to keep the fans in the stands. Have them going to make it an interesting game down the stretch.
yeah. I'm
Inning
the Baltimore Orioles here.
Yes. The Blue Jays ranked 7th in the AL in stolen bases last season, but Bichette led the team with how many stolen bases?
Am I up
I'm
first?
sorry. You would be up, Karen. I'm sorry.
Yeah. 12?
And Sean.
Oh, now see, I actually think I know this, or at least I know close to it, because I remember thinking and even throwing it out to our little Jays from the Couch group that they may have a shortstop who hits 25 home runs and 25 stolen bases. So I'm going to say he hit 21 stolen bases.
He had 25 stolen bases.
Wow.
Yeah, see?
All right.
He's only thrown out one time.
That's right. Yeah, I remember thinking that was more remarkable than the number itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the founder gets back on the board, but it's 5-2, 2 more innings left. And I can do math. That means, Sean, you can only make it close, but still redeem yourself with these next 2 questions. Are you giving me a finger? You want me to read in the middle there, or is it?
No, just three.
Am I reading between the lines there? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
3 for everything.
I gotcha. Okay. Inning 8, an in-season Jays from the Couch podcast focused on WHIP, which for those out there that don't know is walks plus hits over innings pitched as a tool to measure pitching performance. In-season acquisition Trevor Richards had the lowest WHIP amongst qualifying pitchers. What was it?
Oh my goodness.
Am I first or is Karen?
Yeah, no, I think that's you.
be
Excuse
first.
me.
You can go first. I mean,
No, you go. It's your turn.
okay. His whip, 1.08.
And Karen?
He had the lowest. Yes.
WHIP amongst qualifying pitchers.
Got it. Yeah. I'm going to go lower than that. I'm going to say 1.01.
And you could have even gone lower. It was 0.796.
Holy
The Jays actually had 3 relievers with the WHIP under 1. So, Karen.
Wow.
Who else?
Another run on the board, 6-2. We're heading into the 9th inning. Pythagorean winning percentage was one of the first Bill James formulas to catch on. That uses a formula which is basically based on runs scored versus runs allowed, an area where the Jays excelled. This calculation is supposed to really tell you, was a team lucky, let's say like the Seattle Mariners, or was a team unlucky? They just weren't getting the breaks. Jays won 91 games in actual, or 90 games, right?
91.
91, I was right the first time in actuality. But what was their Pythagorean win total for 2021 based on runs scored and runs allowed? Karen, you go first.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever even looked at that stat, so I'm just going to take a guess. I know the run differential was very, very good. So I'll say it's better than their actual win total. I'll go with 95.
95 for Karen. And Sean, this is your
I was gonna say 95, but I'll go 96 just for the spirit of competition.
Well, Sean scored late. The Pythagorean win was 99.
Wow.
Based on runs scored and runs allowed. I know there's other things they mix in there, but that's basically, what the calculation is. So you did make a late run, Sean, but Karen, congratulations. You are the winner of the first Blue Jays by the number game show presented by JaysFromTheCouch.com. Give the fans some words rub it in, whatever you'd like to do. Karen. Take a few minutes here and
That was a lot of fun.
Do a victory lap here.
Some educated. Where are my cats? They can do it for me. So some educated guesses, some pretty much guesses, and yeah, lots of fun chatting with you guys as always.
Okay, everybody, round of applause for Karen Spear, the winner of the first DJ by the Number game show. Back to you, Sean.
Oh yeah, thanks. No, that went about as how I expected it to go. So thank you to both of you for indulging that off the cuff, off the wall idea. I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
We need to do a trivia one, I think. At some point, we should do a Blue Jays trivia one, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the segment that I have come to deeply enjoy, the fake news segment, where we just have more fun and present some fake news. So, if you are new to the segment, don't believe anything you're about to hear. It is literally an attempt to make you laugh, and it may not even work at that. So that's how much stock you should put in it. So, without further ado, Jays from the Couch presents Fake Blue Jays News. And we're going to lead off with the Feckless Wonder. Steve.
Thank you, Sean. Baseball commissioner and owner's flunky Rob Yesmaster Manfred was once again has displayed his utter cluelessness about exactly how baseball operations work for the Toronto Blue Jays. In a surprise announcement at the conclusion of the World Series, the commissioner said he was taking preemptive action in an attempt to end potential sign stealing activities at Rogers Center. Beginning with opening day in April of 2022, Manfred has ordered the roof at the Rogers Center closed for all Major League Baseball games hosted at the facility. I watched the film Canadian Bacon for the first time this past weekend, at first thinking it was a cooking program, babbled the commissioner. When I discovered it was instead a real-life scenario of war between the U.S. and Canada being declared, and that a supercomputer placed in the CN Tower could send signals to nuclear missile silos for launch, I grew alarmed. What if an even more evil, sinister plot was afoot? The Blue Jays trying to steal signs from the nearby CN Tower. I could not stand by and allow that to happen. Competitive balance and higher network ratings in the U.S. take priority over individual team whimsy. Besides, I hear it gets cold up in Canada. MLB needs to put the comfort in wallets of our fans before any search for evidence. Toronto Blue Jays announced a terrific way fans can enjoy the ballpark experience at Rogers Center during the 2022 season. Rogers Communications will be launching a new streaming service available only at the ballpark entitled ReYouTube. The veteran lefty will be mic'd for every Blue Jays game's home game, providing in-game commentaries and insights into his pitch selection during games he starts. He will also help older Blue Jays fans such as myself get a better understanding of what the hell Squid Games is all about and tips on how best to survive watching K-pop videos. Over to you, Sean.
K-pop videos. Those are some of my favorite things about living in Korea. But seriously, we're talking about fake news here, so let's get to it. After extending qualifying offers to Ray and Semyon, the Blue Jays are thrilled to announce a new deal for mats. That's right. In plenty of time for the holidays, you'll soon be able to order your very own Blue Jays welcome mat. 4x2, beautiful logo, and welcome written on it in traditional Blue Jays font. Psych. You thought I was going to say. Anyway. The Toronto Blue Jays, just before we went on air, they've lost a pitcher as Brian Baker has been claimed off the waivers by the Baltimore Orioles. When reached for comment, GM Ross Atkins had this to say: "We lost who?" And the Orioles have freed up a roster spot for us. Well, thanks for being the Orioles. All right, and in related news. Random Twitter user wants the Blue Jays to stop tweeting until they've made bigger moves. Meanwhile, the Blue Jays would like this rando to stop tweeting until he learns to spell. He apparently left out the I in Marcus Simeon's last name and has asked for something that the team just cannot follow through on. And what is worse, this Twitter rando paired this request when asking for tight pants guy. So I'm not sure if he understands baseball at all and what he's really asking for. And that has been fake Blue Jays news. I gotta say, in all honesty, and this is not fake Blue Jays news. Spelling, so important. You know, if you're tweeting the baseball team that you want them to sign seaman, you got problems. Like you just, I mean.
Is that another way of saying we want you to be productive?
Maybe.
Productive and reproductive. Yes, absolutely. That's very important.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, just a little tip for our friends out there. Spelling is important. It matters to a lot of people. And before we kind of wrap things up here, I know, Karen, you're kind of watching your Twitter feed there for misspellings. I mean, I'm joking. But watching the Twitter feed because finalist. I have to throw this out there. Sarah, you're absolutely right. It is definitely the teacher in me, which is funny because I make an obscene amount of errors in tweets that I send. So I have to double check and triple check sometimes to make sure that my sausage fingers aren't causing me embarrassing mishaps like our friend, the Twitter rando. But anyway, but yes, thank you, Sarah, for always watching and tuning in and for commenting. We love you. We appreciate it. Thank you. So Karen's watching the finalists for the real Blue Jays Awards are being announced. And so, Karen, I'm going to throw it over to you with just for an update there, because we're looking at some quite a few Toronto Blue Jays potentially being in the mix for the American League MVP, Cy Young Award, maybe, fingers crossed, even Rookie of the Year, and the hotly debated on the couch Manager of the Year. So, Karen, I'll throw it over to you for an update.
Right. Yeah. So I've been keeping an eye on it. And unfortunately, so far, because I think they've got a live TV show to announce the three finalists in each category. The only categories that have been announced so far are NL Cy Young and AL Rookie of the Year. So NL Cy Young, for anyone who's wondering, the three finalists are Corbin Burns of the Brewers, Max Scherzer of the Nationals Dodgers, and Zach Wheeler of the Phillies. So your NL Cy Young will be one of those three guys.
Max Scherzer just continues to pad his Hall of Fame resume.
He just keeps going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. Excuse me. And the next one, AL Rookie of the Year. Part of what I'm about to say might actually sound like fake news, but I promise you it is not. Unfortunately, our own Alek Manoah did not make the cut. What sounds a little bit like fake news to me, but it isn't, is that one of the three finalists is somehow Randy Arozarena, who has played in the World Series last year, and he's still rookie eligible. So he's one of the three finalists, Arozarena of the Rays, as well as his teammate Wander Franco of the Rays. So Rays look to be in very good shape for who knows how long. And the third finalist, Luis Garcia of the Astros. So that's it so far. Let me just refresh one more time and see if they've announced anything else. But they're taking their time, just as baseball tends to do. Yeah, that's it so far. So,
right. So the Rays doing more service time manipulation just so they can get another award on their little mantle of at Tropicana Field. Wow. Yeah, you know what? It's funny. Like Randy Arozarena, exciting, great ball player. So I don't begrudge him that recognition. But when you've played in parts of 3 seasons, I mean, we're kind of pushing the limits of rookie eligibility there. But that's my own, I guess, my own bias, particularly because I believe that Alek Manoah deserves some love, right? So, but you know what? It doesn't matter because Alek Manoah will get bigger recognitions as his career goes on, and maybe even the next couple of years if the Toronto Blue Jays go as deep as I would like them to into their pockets, both on the right hand side you got your cash, and then on the left hand side you got your prospects, and just throw them all on the table, make it rain, and bring a championship to Toronto because it's time. So speaking of time, we are just about out of it. So I'm going to throw it over. Give first of all, both of you, thank you so much. Tonight was a lot of fun. As always, but tonight in particular, I really enjoyed. So thank you both for being excellent sports, as you always are. Steve, let everybody know how they can follow you and your programming.
You can follow me on Twitter at FecklessWonder. Tomorrow night's on Feck Circle. I usually am more self-effacing about this. This is a much watch/listen on Feck Circle. Blue Jays fans are going to have the hardest decisions of anybody. Front office personnel, union chiefs, they're going to have the hardest and the toughest decisions to make during the offseason. I'm going to explain why that is on tomorrow night's edition of the On Feck Circle.
Looking forward to it, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be watching. Everybody should be watching because I think it's going to be a great episode and delivered in a way that only Steve can. Karen, your turn. Let everybody know how they can follow you and your programming as well.
Yes, I'm on Twitter at Karen Sutar1. So just as you see it there, SOUTAR1, and I'm on Twitter a lot, so you can always talk to me. Mutual respect is important, so talk baseball, any other reasonable topic. And my show, Sunny Side of the Dome, is Thursdays, 6 p.m. We decided for the time being for the off season to do every other week, since there's not as much to talk about, but I'm sure the news will get going. So
yeah, thanks, Ross.
No, listen. Ross Atkins is a faithful Jays from the Couch watcher and listener, so he knows what's expected of him, and he's gonna get it done. Because if he doesn't, I will be calling him a rodeo clown every week, and I'll lose it because now is the time. This is the winter. Anyway, this is the winter of all in. Winter is coming. And it's going to be awesome. Or it isn't, and I'm going to be mad at Ross Atkins forever. Who knows? It could go either way. But regardless of how it goes, we'll be here every week, Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Excuse me, where you can send in your comments and questions. And the more we do trivia, you'll get to participate as well. Throw your answers on the screen, and it's not that difficult to beat me. So, Karen, is there an update before we head out?
Manager of the year. No, Charlie. Sorry, Charlie.
Wow. Charlie Montoyo got snubbed by
Dusty Baker, Kevin Cash, and Scott Service.
Okay. Dusty. Okay. Really? Wow. I can't even. Karen, you shouldn't have told me that right before we go, because now I'm going to leave the show angry. But anyway.
I told you so.
Yeah, shut up. Whether I agree or disagree with Charlie Montoyo and your opinions about him, I don't think that those three. He should have been there. But anyway, it is what it is. We'll break it all down next week on Monday. And of course, if you missed the live stream, you can catch the audio version anywhere you find quality podcasts, Apple, Google, Spotify, anywhere. You'll find us there. So for Steve, for Karen, for Charlie Montoyo, Uncle Charlie. This is Sean Doyle. You can follow me on Twitter at Doyle JFtC, hoping life gives you a juicy fastball down the middle and you don't miss it. Take care.